it's a really big win if you're a small business and you don't have just gobs of money to pay a video agency like every month. It's really an easy thing to do to set aside like one day a month where you're doing something that can be recorded, right? And then you can take that recording, then you can like chop it up and put it all kinds of different places. And so then the next question is, all right, I would love to do that. What can we do? And I think right now, just 2022, a really easy win is a community type event that's video is a really big win. Or like yeah, I would even say you and I right now having this conversation, you've got two experts chatting, you can record it, you can chop it up, you can put it a million different places, right? It can be free, it can be paid, it can be for sales, for marketing, for whatever. You've got like every Wednesday we do LinkedIn together, right? And so that's been going for a couple of years. I love it. We take that one thing once a week, a minimal prep time, right? We just record it. It's an hour every Wednesday, and we can take that recording and we can chop it up. We can put it on YouTube. We can put it on our LMS. We can do all kinds of stuff with it. Simultaneously, it's bringing people into our ecosystem. So obviously, it's totally worth the time to do. An easy win in the beginning is just set aside a time to record something on a schedule. A community type thing live recorded is a really easy win. It's candid or something like this as well. So once you have that, obviously you want to put some thought into there so you can kind of think, well, where's this going to go? Is it worth doing, right? Even if it's cheap, like you could record a Zoom thing. It's free, but there's still like your time investment there, which as a business owner you should be very mindful of course. What we do and what we see people do is you'll take the video and chop it up, put it lots of places. One place that we always put stuff is YouTube, right? Just to bring people into our ecosystem for brand awareness. There's a lot of people who have sent me an invite on LinkedIn because they say, hey, I've been watching your stuff on YouTube for a long time. And like, thanks, you just saved me the work, like you just came to me. So definitely I would put it on YouTube. We definitely put it on LinkedIn. There's actually two different sort of avenues that you can go with it. There's your personal profile and your personal branding, and there's also from the company page. So you could do it both places there. Obviously, the strategy is a little bit different there. We also put it on our LMS on our website. So we have like you have an Abound Social account. We have a bunch of free and paid material in there. So we take that thing that we're doing just on a regular basis, putting it in our LMS, and we're just continually providing more resources so that we can keep people keep coming back so that we're sticky. And then we put it on Vimeo, but that's more just for like it looks better, on our website. And then we don't do much with like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, just because we're in the B2B space, and I'm sure there's a place for that. It's not really been our wheelhouse, so can't really speak to that. But we take it, we chop it up. We definitely use it on LinkedIn a few places, definitely use it on YouTube, and definitely use it on our own ecosystem in our LMS.
No, I think that's great. And same with the series I'm doing. This will be on YouTube. It'll be a podcast so people can find it. But then we're gonna clip it up and I will post up on my LinkedIn profile. But also there's a bit here which we talked about actually how video can actually use it for sales.
Yeah,
I will clip that up and I will send it. And I'll probably use something like Vimeo or Wistia for that because then I can track it a bit more. And actually send it, say, hey, watch this. So basically it's saying, don't just listen to me. Listen to someone else. Listen to another expert who actually says this is how they're using video, right? And this is how I'm using from a sales point of view. Using actually, I've got these assets that right. Okay, this person's not sure about how they can use video for sales and what the return is. Okay, well, why don't you watch this little 2-3 minute clip where I got Isaac here talking about some examples of how he's doing it and some of the tools that he's using, right? So this is where I think people need to think about video. It's not just a one-off, right? It's an asset which you can slice and dice in many different ways and put it across many different platforms.
So you were saying, Simon, there's ROI. We're talking about the return and like tracking and stuff. And so here's the really hairy part about B2B sales is it always goes through people. And so it's really hard to track. Did this video all the way through result in this new sale? Because it leaves the trackable pixel cookie world, and then it's like, boop, now we're on Teams or Zoom, or now we're on a video, and that's all kind of over, and now we're moving to email, and now the contract's going to go through, and the lawyers are going to look at it and review, and then boom, it's like, what can we do? You know what I mean? And so it's really hard to associate a revenue amount with for new business in B2B, because there's always that kind of pit stop where it leaves the funnel, it goes to two people talking, and then drops off a cliff for tracking. And so you kind of need to be more paying attention, like, is the video getting people talking? Is the video producing leads? And so you're probably more looking at the role that video plays into bringing down your cost per lead. It's going to be harder to associate revenue, cost per acquisition with the video, just because, again, there's that pit stop. But cost per lead, all that fun stuff.
Well, I think that's one of the issues with why people like it. They don't put a huge investment into video, because it's like, well, if we spend 10 grand on a video, can you guarantee it's going to give me 20 grand back? And it's difficult. It doesn't work. Video doesn't work that way. You're right. It has to integrate into your whole marketing and sales process. But it will help move the needle in terms of you'll get more people interested. And if you're clever, which all business owners surely are, in terms of when you do a piece of content and you sort of know, you can track it. So you'll know that if it's on your website or on YouTube, it's just about having a call to action onto the end of it or into the text, and maybe you can actually create a different call to action with a different URL or a different link, and that way you can say, oh, that person watched that video on YouTube and then they came to us, or that person watched that video on our website and then they came to us. And that's where you can sort of work out where the lead comes from. Did they watch the video, and what kind of videos did they watch? But to say, oh, can you guarantee that if I make this video and spend 10 grand on it, you can give me 20 grand back? It can, if you integrate all the elements together. And in the full interview, Isaac just gives so many more nuggets of gold and so many more examples of how you can be using video for your sales team. So head on over to your favorite podcast app, or you can watch the full interview right here on YouTube.